Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making pasta bread bowls with a marry me slash Tuscan sauce with pork chops. So I've been seeing this marry me chicken everywhere on TikTok, and I was like, yo, that would be so fire with a pork chop. So I basically smothered some pork chops in a Tuscan sauce. Okay, let's get into it. So I'm assuming we all know how to boil some noodles. With the flat fettuccine noodles, you just want to mix them a little more than you would mix your regular spaghetti noodles because they flat, so they might get stuck together. Make sure you put a little salt, put a little oil in that pot. All right, here I'm adding some oil to my pan where I'm about to add my pork chops to. So I seasoned up my pork chops. If you can see the seasonings in the back. You can screenshot or whatever you need to do. You know, I set my oil in the pot to get hot. Now I'm gonna flour my pork chops and put them in the pot. If y'all decide to try this, make sure y'all take a lot of the excess flour off because I didn't really think about that. And when I was eating it, it was a little cakey. And that's something that I personally did not like. So once they start cooking, you want to let your bottom get real, like golden brown, like that one. If it ain't golden brown, do not flip it yet because, like I said, you don't want that cakey texture. Then you want to go ahead and remove your pork chops from your pan. Do not turn your pan off, but you could turn it down because you don't need it as hot when you want to get into the next steps. So I'm a person that believes in layering flavor. So when it came to the next steps, I wanted to, saute down my vegetables, my onion, my garlic, my sun-dried tomatoes. I wanted to get all of that nice and well seasoned and incorporated together. Then I wanted to add in my spinach, get that cooked down a little so that when I put it in my sauce, it didn't need to like cook down too much. Sauteing up your spinach first also allows that raw flavor to cook off of it so that it's not adding that flavor to your sauce and you don't get like that raw spinach flavor because spinach can be a little bitter sometimes. So when you cook it down and saute it first, you cook off some of that bitterness, which is gonna in the end make your sauce better. After I sauteed my spinach, I then went in with my Alfredo sauce. If y'all don't take anything else from this video, learn that this is some of the best Alfredo sauce like known to man. Like I've gotten complimented on my Alfredo sauce for years. Like since I started cooking in high school, like they always like, oh, Angel, when you making Alfredo, when you making Alfredo. So like this Alfredo sauce here is tea. It's gonna be Tuscan sauce once I add the other stuff to it. But the Alfredo sauce is the real tea. Get into it. First, I add my garlic and butter to the bottom of the pot. I let it get a nice roasted flavor. Then I add a little flour to bring it together and make it a roux. I let that cook down, cook that raw flavor off of that, and then I get into it. See, me, I'm going to tell you what I did wrong and I'm going to tell you what I did right. So don't be like me and let your sauce boil out. I feel like that's why maybe I didn't have enough sauce to like really cover my pork chops. But in the end, it was a perfect amount of sauce to bring the whole dish together. But you know, it would be nice to have like a little extra sauce on the side to add because you know, natural Alfredo sauce, it can dry out fast. So let's get back into the Alfredo sauce. Here, you're supposed to let your cream get nice and hot. That's when I start to add my cheese. You don't want it to quite boil because, you know, evaporation, you start to lose your liquid. But you do want it to get nice and hot so your cheese does not sit in there and get grainy. You want it to melt as soon as it comes into contact with your cream so that you get a nice smooth sauce all throughout. Once that cream gets nice and hot, I start to add my cheese and whisk it in. So here's some more tea. I wait until the end to season my sauce because you never know how salty a cheese might be or whatever you're adding to your sauce. So I season it last after I taste it, after I added my cheese and everything. And then I'm like, okay, so I see how much of everything I feel like is missing. Then I added my sauteed veggies back in, mixed it, made sure everything was incorporated all over the place. You want to taste it again to make sure everything is adding and exuding the right flavors that you wanted to achieve. As a home cook and even a chef, the most important thing you can do throughout cooking is tasting while you go because you don't want to get to the end of your product and be like, yo, what is this? Like, what? This is not the flavor I was going for. Or like, you know, like where did this flavor come from type thing. Then I added my pork chop. Yo, now it's going to be like you let them simmer in the sauce. And that's another reason why you don't want to use up all your sauce because you need that rest time to fully finish cooking the rest of your pork. Even though your pork chop should be mostly done, especially after it has that little bit of time to rest, it should be mostly done. But this is just gonna make sure your pork chop is like all the way cooked all the way through. Ooh, look at that sauce. Not to toot my own horn, but it's giving body, shiny. It's giving appearance. It's giving everything it needs to give. These rosemary thyme bread bowls turned out so well. I was so proud of them. Overall, I was proud of the whole dish and how it turned out.